Hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everybody. If you're watching this on Sunday, my name is Allison, and I am a channel and an awakening guide, and I go live here on my channel every single Sunday to offer a collective channeling and also to offer a channeling for one of you. If you are here live, please say hello in the chat. Hi, Courtney. Hi, Floor. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and I always love if you leave a comment. Let me know how this resonates. Let me know what you're currently experiencing. And of course, like and subscribe. I do have something that I'm manifesting here, which is 1,000 subscribers. And so we'll see. I'm trying not to put a time limit on it, but we'll see how quickly that happens. Hi, Kennedy. It's good to see you all. So, curious how everything is feeling for all of you. Hi, Chris. Um, those of you who are joining live, I already know you're kind of entering fall, the fall season like I am, and I would love to hear how that's feeling for you. I have a little fire pit outside, and I'm just practically every day sitting outside in front of the fire. It is so good. I'm loving it so much. So this weather is really enjoyable for me. And also, I want to send some love to all of my friends in St. Petersburg, Florida. I know that many people there are, really dealing with some experiences from the hurricane. So, I wanted to send lots of love. Hi, Stacy. You're painting still. Kennedy's thriving. I've been seeing you're thriving. I love it. Oh, I love it. Kennedy, feel free to share some of the magical experiences that you've been having recently, and anyone else who wants to do that. So I'll go ahead and go into some announcements. The first announcement is I am taking off on my East Coast book tour in about 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Oh my God, 3 weeks. And I'll be visiting just a few cities on the East Coast. So I would love to see you. Check my website. It's linked in the description box to see where I'll be. And I think that there's only one event that I'm still updating that doesn't have a link. So, but that will be happening soon, probably right after I jump off of this. Let's see. The other announcement is that I have a couple retreats coming up. The first one that I want to mention is called Ecstasy. Many of you have heard me talking about the ecstatic body and how to activate the ecstatic body, what that really is. So our bodies are meant to be ecstatic. They're meant to every cell vibrating with high levels of light and pleasure and joy. And that's really what the ecstatic body is. That's the experience. Those of you who've heard, how many of you have heard of ecstatic dance? That's a lot of times where people kind of know this reference. So ecstatic dance is actually, the root of it is moving almost spontaneously because the levels of light moving through the body actually animate the body into dancing, singing, laughing, light language, all sorts of things. So that's actually the root of ecstatic dance. And I wonder how many people who are even offering ecstatic dance know that, this is the root of it. This is what it feels like to have ecstasy running through the body. So I have a retreat. It's called Ecstasy, and this will be in Orlando, Florida at the beginning of January 2025. So this is going to be an annual event. Much like summer camp, this is going to be something that I offer every year. And the purpose of this retreat is to activate the ecstatic body, to assist us in moving these very high levels of light through the body. So if you're interested in that, check the description box. Also, I wanted to make sure that those of you who are here, go ahead and type your question into the chat before I give my next announcement, or while I'm giving my next announcement. And you just type Q at the beginning of it, and then you can type your question in. So, and I'll choose one. So the next announcement, the next retreat that I wanted to share with you all is going to be in Guatemala. This will be in March of 2025, and the information on that will likely be up on my website this week. We've been having some planning meetings about it and just getting all of the details squared away. So, but that will be up on the website very soon. But if you are interested, you let me know. Send me an email, and I will definitely get back to you about how you can sign up for that. All right. And we have early bird for both of those retreats currently going on. Okay, good. I see one question. Oh, and I'm going to have some of my cacao. So, blessings to all of you. A couple of my events, book tour events, are going to be cacao ceremonies with channeling. So I've been reconnecting with cacao so that I can really know what vibration and offering to bring through in these ceremonies. And let me tell you, I took a few months off. I was having a lot of issues while in Arkansas. I was having a lot of allergies. I had to work through some manifestation processes with that, realize some limiting beliefs that I had placed on myself that I had to sort of navigate my way out of. And so, anyway, that's done. Thank you, Lord. And so I took a break from cacao because what I noticed is it was sort of amplifying some of these experiences, which is a whole different story. But now that I am reunited, it feels so good. How many of you, go ahead and share in the comments, how many of you have been a part of a cacao ceremony before? I would love to hear. A little bit of background. I'll go ahead and share while you're typing in your questions. I see 3 so far. A cacao ceremony. There's actually no such thing as a traditional cacao ceremony because the way that this all started was really more of a Mayan fire ceremony. And so I kind of like to put that out there because people sometimes think, am I doing it right? Is it this? Is it that? We gain so many of our traditions, our current traditions. They have already been, even yoga, and just about everything has been reformatted, reformed, recreated in beautiful, inspired ways for generations before we got to it. So what I always suggest is connect to the experience as if as if you can download, as if you yourself were the one receiving the first transmission of it. And let yourself, your own heart, be your guide through these traditions. So there are, of course, people who are medicine carriers who are really guided to work with specific traditions, plants, different medicines. And hello, Brennan. And you will notice them, right? So not everybody is meant to carry every medicine. Not everyone is really going to be inspired to. So I just wanted to share that. Again, I am always wanting to make sure that everyone trusts themselves, that we trust ourselves, that is the era that we're coming into, that we are in, is self-trust, the amplification of the master within, the guru within. Um, so yeah, trust yourselves. All right. Okay. So I see 1, 2, 3 questions. Good. Well, I didn't send the email out today, so we are going to see. I know there's not as many people here. Okay, 4. 4 questions. Let's see. And I'm going to pull up a random number generator. Um, so I see the 4 questions, unless there's more. Oh, ooh, I'll give a couple more announcements before I hit random number generator, before I choose one of your questions. So I am going to be launching, I posted this on my Instagram stories, and I got different votes for different things. I said, how many of you want a course on, sexual energy and ecstasy? How many of you want a course on manifestation? How many of you want a course on ET, star family contact? And I got votes for all of them, and I just decided I'm going to offer. Okay, 5 questions. Thank you. I'm just going to offer all of these courses. So stay tuned. I would recommend signing up for my email newsletter, where I share all of these things. So I'm going to be launching these, and I'm kind of not sure which one I'm going to be launching first. It's either going to be the ecstatic body sexuality course or the manifestation course. The beautiful thing about these is I'm going to make them self-guided, which means that you can do them at your own pace, and they're going to be much more affordable that way. So I'm really excited to share these with you. I have learned so much in the past year about all of these topics. And I'm sort of bursting at the seams to offer more teachings on these things. So, okay, 5 questions. Glad I waited. All right. It's question number 5. Look at you, Courtney. You called that in. How beautiful. Okay, I'm going to read through all of these questions because you just never know. Sometimes reading them will help them come through during the collective channeling. Okay, so I've been noticing timidness, particularly with bosses. What is the origin of this, and what guidance can be offered to help me stand more in my authenticity in the presence of authority figures? Okay, next question. Why do specific parts of the external world illusion feel spiritually activating to me? Love that question. I'll just share with you right now, because there is no external world. We are the external world. When we tap into oneness consciousness, we know this. So even if it's a person or an experience or a color, something is activating to you, it's actually because you're the one projecting it, and it's being projected back to you, and it's part of your template. All right. I just get so excited with this. This is why I need to offer a new ecstasy course. Let's see. Wondering how to strike a balance in relationships between being loving and involved and having freedom and sovereignty in the new earth. Beautiful question. Beautiful question. I feel like you know what I need to do? I want to have one of these calls where I actually go into every single question, and we'll just keep going, because I find myself wanting to guide with all of these questions. It has to do with people pleasing. So love is authentic. It's authentically what comes through in every moment. If we are pushing or pulling, we're going to start to notice that it feels like effort to be loving. instead of being authentic. It sort of feels like an either or. When we relax into ourselves, when we simply let ourselves be, the loving experience is actually what naturally emerges. Now, sometimes what we need to do is pause, and we don't feel loving for a while because we've got things that are residual that are sort of blocking the way. We let those process, we let those move. And then the inherently loving aspect of ourselves comes through. And it's built within sovereignty. It's a natural state of sovereignty to be loving, but not push that loving or pull the loving, if that makes sense. Okay, since I'm going through all of these, I'm going to go ahead and go into the first question, which I didn't. Um, hmm, Authenticity and presence. Oh, it's because you're big, your energy's big, and you, mm, it's that not wanting to overpower. This actually relates to the other question, which I just guided through, which is our authentic nature. Sometimes we've practiced holding that back because we don't want to bowl other people over with our big energy. And so the timidness is a learned reaction to the program of not wanting to be too big in front of people, to really show up with a knowingness. Now, sometimes we don't have all of the answers. That's why other people have authority within different spheres, because they have more practice and things like that. But the feeling of timidness, in the presence of authority figures, it doesn't necessarily need to be there if we're fully trusting ourselves and we're being highly present. So, all right, I'll go into that. um, let's see. Loved being part of the cacao ceremony you did with Amber. Amber is incredible with different medicine spaces. She is truly incredible. I highly recommend. Um, to try anything else. Ooh, yes. Okay, we'll put that on the books. And the ecstasy retreat, Amber is going to be one of the facilitators, and she'll be guiding into authentic relating experiences and also cacao ceremony. So that's really her. Oh, she just holds the space so well. Okay, I'm going to read through another question. How can I be more so that I can continue to expand into job opportunities, prosperity, romantic partnership that mirrors my soul journey? It's so fascinating. Can you all sense the theme that's coming through these? And it's kind of perfect that there's only a few here joining us today live, because this gives me a chance to kind of dive into everyone. So, feeling into that one, be more to expand. Yeah. This comes into, how do we be present? That is such a fun question to ask, because that's where the how drops away. And yet that's also where we get to determine the how. A video that I really want to make is to share with people. You know how we often say in manifestation, the how is not up to you. At a certain point in consciousness, you get to determine how. That is actually up to you. But most of us are not operating in that continuously, in that realm of consciousness where we determine how. So I'll make that video, I'll share with you. It's allowing. Your question is about allowing and bringing yourself to a vibratory state where you feel that it is normal for these things that you're currently feeling that are big. Bringing yourself to the vibratory state where the big things actually feel normal. So that's the process. or that's sort of more the goal than the things that we're bringing in, right? So how to get yourself into a place where these big things feel normal. You actually want to let yourself meditate with these experiences and experience them in your imagination. And when you do that more and more frequently, the imagination translates into the current experience, because that's all it ever is. And they start to feel normal in your daily life. And then they start to come into your field. If they don't feel normal, we don't even know what to look for, and we don't know how to let it in. So the goal is sort of more to these experiences that we tend to feel are big. We want them to instead feel normal. And there's lots of different processes for that. All right. So let's see. All right. So I've gone through all of those questions. I'm going to close my eyes. And then I'm going to channel on this question, number 5, which is, yeah, so good. Watch for that manifestation course coming out. That one's going to be explaining all of this. Like I said, I've learned so much about conscious creation, and we're in a time right now where a lot of people are talking about it, because we're sort of all like toddlers in this landscape of creation. The manifestation practices that are currently available to us, they're sort of like toddler level, believe it or not. Right now, we think that they're so big and it's like, whoa, I can create it whatever I want. And it's like, right? But actually, that's just the beginning. That is just the beginning. What we're going into now collectively, and this is not an exaggeration, collectively, we are going into the ability to teleport, the ability to levitate, the ability to truly move matter, because matter is part of the illusion. So it's going to be fun. I'm really excited to launch this next course. Okay, I'm going to read through this question. I am going to close my eyes so that I can get really deep into these energies, and I will channel the individual question, and then I will channel the collective energies right now. Okay, so stay tuned to the end. I feel like energies are pretty tumultuous, especially with my husband. How to navigate the strifes and fighting without these factors. Beautiful. Hi, Jen. Oh, into and out of sleep. Oh, well, I read it before it disappeared. So sleep well, and may this channeling um, be received by your subconscious, if you desire that, to benefit you in the highest possible way. I'm going to go ahead and go into listening around this question. When things feel tumultuous, when the energies are amplified, how to navigate it without this feeling of fighting or difficulty. Surrender, love. Oh, surrender. It's really surrendering to what you desire. Now, let's express and explain a little bit more about what surrender is. You're surrendering to the fact that you want it. You're not surrendering what you want. Well, you are. You're surrendering all of it. But the mind holds on to this idea of surrender as if you're giving up what you desire. That's not really what surrender is. You're actually surrendering to the fact that you desire it. Isn't that beautiful? You're surrendering to what you desire. I give up. I stop resisting what I desire. We don't think of it that way. We think, that somehow what we desire is elusive, and therefore surrendering means, well, I'm just going to give that up. Or we're not even conscious of our resistance to the very thing that we want. So go into surrender. I surrender. I surrender that I'm a human and I want this thing, but I don't know how to get it. I surrender. I surrender that I want this thing. That's the surrender. And then to go deeper into it, once the surrender is beginning or has occurred or is occurring, the grief of not having had what you desire, sometimes that comes up. A lot of times that comes up. And the grief is actually what's causing the fighting. You're fighting someone externally or a situation externally. Again, this is all woven together. All of the questions that were asked were woven together. You're fighting something that you believe to be external, whether it's a partner who's somehow not on board or a situation that's just not working. It's not conforming to what you desire. You're fighting this external thing because you haven't surrendered to the fact that you want something different. When you truly surrender to the fact that you want something, you agree to allowing yourself to want something without knowing how. And that moment of surrender, again, it's going to bring this grief up. It's going to bring these feelings of sadness, the grief of unknowingly being in this human experience and unknowingly separating yourself from everything that you are. Everything that you desire is actually what you are. You are all of it. You are all of it. It's not separate from you. Believing that it's separate from you is part of the illusion of being human. So it's understandable. It's understandable that that's what we do. We separate ourselves from each other. This is the game of separation. This human form is the game of separation. And we experience it so viscerally. The illusion is so real when we're in it. And then the game is reuniting with all aspects of the self. That is done through reuniting with each other in love and harmony, witnessing each other as aspects of God, which we are. And then witnessing all that is in creation as projections from our own God self, our own God nature. And when we do that, when we truly do that, when we know that, when we see that, we will have a very different experience. We will see that all our aspects of the self and all aspects of the self then simply need to be played with in harmony. We just play with it. We witness it. We love it. We love it because we don't feel separate from it. We love it as ourselves. This is where self-love comes into play. If we truly love ourselves, there will be nothing in creation that we don't also love. Nothing. How could there be? We're not separate from ourselves. There's no contention. Now, we are learning to be multidimensional, which means that we are in the illusion of separation. And we are also the highest version of ourselves. We are also God, all at the same time. And so how, when we're caught in the illusion of separation, do we then witness ourselves as God? Pause, be present, allow whatever is moving through you to be witnessed and experienced. That means anger, frustration, sadness. Allow it to move through you without attachment. Witness it. Witness it. Even the emotions that we feel are unpreferred are not separate from the fullness of ourselves. We are all of it. Don't push against or pull toward anything. There's no pushing or pulling in this realm. This realm of consciousness knows that all simply is. So if there's fighting, it is separation from the self. It is fury, frustration at the self for not knowing how to do it, for feeling separate from the actualization of the desire that we hold. And so we're present with it. And we allow ourselves, we surrender to the desire that's already within. Surrender to it. Let it be. I witness that this is something that I want. That's all that's needed. In that moment of surrender, in that moment of prayer, we'll call it, all is actualized. It's all actualized in that moment. We simply flow with that consciousness of the actualization, and then we begin to witness it projected into our world, because we are the ones projecting everything from our higher self landscape. We are projecting into this reality all of it. Collectively, we are creating all of it. And then from an individual perspective, we can begin to perceive what the individual perspective desires to perceive in this realm of reality, as we'll call it. We can't perceive it until we've allowed our consciousness to surrender to what we desire. Bring that surrender all the way in. Let it be. Krishtika aliana katushurataka yana mayaka. You are not separate. You are aspects of the whole. This is how you create in this realm. Witness the illusion that leads you to believe that you are separate from anything. Laugh at it. It's so funny. It's so funny. It engenders a tickle in the system. Free that energy. Free that energy up. You are whole, which means that you are united with all that you are, which means that you are united with all that you desire. Presently, there is no separation. Let the illusion go. And once you've let the illusion go, you get to play with the illusion in this human form. You get to play with witnessing this belief of separation while not being bound by it. It's all already yours. The anger is the fear and the frustration of not in the moment fully recognizing that everything is already yours. So feel gratitude for all of it already being yours. Feel the gratitude. And those of you who are witnessing this channeling, those of you who are a part of this, and of course, many, 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 many who are not. But if you're hearing these words, know that you are here to show others how to amplify their light. Other aspects of the self in human form. Allowing yourself all that you desire is your service to the planet. is your service to others. Because what you were doing is you were allowing greater levels of light into your experience, and then others witness this light and remember who they are. Allow yourselves to be illuminated with the fullness of all that you desire to exist in your world. It's yours already. I'm going to end it there. I'm not going to go into any more collective channeling or anything like that today. Go play. Go play. So exciting. It's always surrender. Yeah. It says, Courtney says, it's like whispering your desire out into the universe and then surrendering for letting go, floating off. So much easier than said than done. I witness. This is something that I want. I'm so glad. We amplify. Yes. I love how these channelings end up, answering all of the questions. Beautiful. Thank you all for being here. And have a beautiful week. I will see you next week. All right. Bye. How do I end this? There we go. Bye, everybody. Like and subscribe and share with your friends.